Can you characterize everything that the Fed has done this past week as essentially flooding the system with money?
Yes, exactly.
And there's no end to your ability to do that?
There is no end to our ability to do that.
Is the Fed just going to print money?
That's literally what Congress has told us to do. That's the authority that they've given us, to print money and provide liquidity into the financial system. And that's how we do it. We create it electronically, and then we can also print it with the Treasury Department, print it so that you can get money out of your ATM. I heard from a bank in our region, a well-to-do customer came in and said, I want to withdraw $600,000 of cash. Now, we can supply all the cash that the banks need to meet their customers' concerns, but it just speaks to the fear and the uncertainty that is rippling through the economy.
To the person who is about to grab their car keys and go to the ATM and take out $3,000, you say what?
You don't need to. Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there's enough cash in the financial system, and there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system.
Will the Federal Reserve ensure that banks have all the cash they need to satisfy whatever withdrawals may be coming?
Yes, this is the fundamental reason the Federal Reserve exists.
I don't know what
fundamental.
I don't know what's more disturbing, the size of that guy's nose or his bug eyes. Like, they had him all jacked
The bug
up
eyes.
too before he started that interview.
The bug eyes.
Strange looking guy, man. I mean, you got to have a certain like facial structure to pull off like a bald head like that, and I don't think he had it. I think
He looked
needs
like
something
you. Literally
bad.
looked like an Eggman.
Yeah. I'm the walrus.
Look at you. Oh,
You recording from the toilet today, Clyde?
No, he's
no,
always
this-
on the toilet.
This is my alternate room. 'Cause, it got warm, so I went upstairs because I can just kind of like leave my stuff. If I do it downstairs, I do it from my bedroom, and then I got to pick everything up and move everything back in place, and so I just go upstairs and like the kind of like our attic. It's a storage room basically, and now it's cold. It's like I got frost on the ground, so now I'm got to freaking put my jacket on and. it's cold as
Last
hell.
cold snap, hopefully. Like, jeez.
There's like I went to put I was watering the animals this morning. I couldn't find my gloves because I think my wife put all like the winter stuff away. Thank you very much. My freaking fingers are like numb, just like killing me. I have dainty fingers. They're very fragile.
Dainty. Such a good word.
dainty fingers.
Mark wouldn't even know I had them.
But Mark knows, QB does. So. Justin, you're muted.
I just realized that. I say, especially after the treatment he's probably getting in prison. Sorry, I was pulling up Facebook to see who all the people that are commenting are, since nobody will give StreamYard permission to show their names on the stream. So
Mark's wishing he had Clyde's dainty fingers right about now.
as opposed to those sausages he's experiencing.
Oh fuck! He's way too pretty for prison.
There we go. Somebody learned how to run this thing.
Oh shit! Putting his real name out there, he's never get a job again.
You commented on the morning after. Now you're.
Sometimes
you're
I
forever
wonder.
pariah.
Sometimes I wonder if my employer ever like looks at my social media, because I'm Facebook friends with like all of my coworkers, and my normie account is not much more tame than my other account, and then everybody at work was, and then everybody at work was don't dox my sock, as Clyde likes to say, but then everybody at work was like, did you unfriend me? I was like, what? No. They're like, well, you popped up as in my friend suggestion. I was like, oh, that's my other account. That's the one that I'm a little less tame on, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm adding you." It's like, okay, whatever. Like, venture at your
I
own
think
risk.
that's kind of what took some of the fun out of Facebook for me. Like when we moved down here, we started going to church, and all these old ladies started like friend
Friending you?
requesting me, and I was like, okay, sure. And then I was like, oh wait.
They're not gonna like.
It's like I gotta dial everything back, like and not even like anything that's questionable, just like everything.
I did have so I'm part of a couple church groups and stuff, and I did have somebody after we had like a meeting one weekend pull me to the side and they're like, "Hey, you've been doing these like videos and stuff on Facebook, and just I can't tell you what to do, but do you think you could dial back on the amount that you use the F word?" I was like, "What? I didn't realize that. Yeah, apparently you did like a 30-second video and said the F word like 12 times in the 30 seconds." I was like, "Oh, well, that sounds about right, actually."
It's a beautiful word.
And then I went back and watched the video, and she actually undercounted. It was like 17 times, but
I mean, there's so many ways to use it, though. I mean, you can it's like an adjective, a verb, a noun.
Perfect.
Do you remember?
Perfect, just like versatile. That's the most versatile word out there. Like you can use it for a little bit of everything.
I want to say I was in like high school.
Oh, we know what Trey's
It might have been a little bit after that. There was like I don't know, somebody recorded something, but it was like all the like different ways that you could use. I think it was the F-bomb. Like, and it's the most versatile, and they used it just like I'm gonna have to find it. But like all
I'm familiar with the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember
every part of speech. Yeah.
Even that, it was just like, oh wow, and it makes sense like in your head as you listen to it, but it was just like, wow, it really is,
Well, it's like all the different shits, like bullshit, dog shit, horse shit, the shit. Like, there's so many.
The South Park, where they started saying shit on air, that episode, and they go through, how are you allowed to say it? Like, yeah, in the expletive, or like shit on a shingle, or I don't give a shit. Some of them are getting bleeped, some of them are not. When MySpace was still the social media. So a long time ago, I had a buddy call me up. He was getting a job. What was it, like a bounty hunter or something, And he's like, "Hey man, I need you to take the pictures of us together off of your Facebook." And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem, And I go back and look, and yeah, there's like 4 of them of like me and him each holding like cow patties full of mushrooms and shit. Like, I was like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I'll get those off of there. Sorry about that.
That was an interesting era when Facebook had first started, and MySpace was kind of the thing more so than Facebook really at the time. I used Facebook during the school year because you would add your class, and then you could see who all was in your class, and like Facebook was actually like a school thing, at the time.
Yeah.
And so I used it for
school.
To
have one of those .edu emails to get it.
Yeah. And your school had to be signed up with Facebook. Like it was 8 or 10 months before Murray got on. Like Murray wasn't a school that had Facebook that was Facebook accessible initially. It took a little while for it to catch on. But
basically, like the way we did it, like it was like everybody was on MySpace, and then as soon as
when you went to college, though, everybody already had Facebook, so it doesn't really matter. We're talking two different time zones here, time generations.
Well, like I joined Facebook like when I was still in high school, so like that was when it kind of opened up. As soon as it opened up to like everybody to be able to log in and sign up, it doesn't matter if you had an EDU or not, whatever. So that was kind of like it was the end of the MySpace, and everybody was just like, oh, I'm on Facebook, and it's like, oh, well, I still have MySpace. It's like, oh, no, it's okay, fine. You as long as you're 13, you can just sign up for Facebook or whatever. So it's like,
Trey's talking about being 13 when we're all in college. Or
do you remember Hot or Not? Hot
or Not?
Yeah, I was 6.5.
That was like That wasn't that Zuckerberg?
There
Wasn't
was
that his thing
he
before
made
he left
one,
Facebook?
but I don't know if Hot or Not was actually it. Is that actually his?
So I would use Facebook during the school year because people in class and stuff. But then during the summer, I swapped over and would use MySpace during the summer. So I didn't use Facebook at all during the summer. I only used it during the school year. And then MySpace was my summer social media.
My cousin was in like big people college, and I don't think I was doing any college at the time. I must have been like 20, and we were on a cruise, like a family, thing. We're on a cruise, and he's using the Facebook, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a college thing," And I was like, "All right, dork." That's what I heard of it, but I wasn't cool enough to be on Facebook. Like, you got to be in college.
It was cool for me because I had gone to multiple colleges, and so once they were all on, then I started being able to find friends from the old schools that I had gone to, and so that was interesting. At one point, I had more Facebook friends from Mississippi State than I did from Murray, even though I was attending Murray at the time, which it was still pretty new to Murray.
Well, I'm liking Instagram because Instagram you can do like music, like with your stories, and that's what I miss about. I know I said this 100 times. That's what I miss about MySpace. Is you had like the song, like when it come on the page, like your song would play. Like that was fucking badass. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's what I like Instagram stories. I can put music to my stupid posts.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. It's too much.
They tried like sort of adding that to Facebook, but like it just doesn't work because they don't make it like. They don't make it front and center like they do on other social media.
Right. You have your timeline. Like, it's not like you go to your page or somebody's page. It was kind of like Facebook, or rather, sorry, MySpace was like still sort of old school internet where it was really just an easy way to make a website.
Yeah.
Just a really simple way to make a personal website.
Yeah, it was almost like a precursor to like Wix or something like that, I guess, like in some ways, or like a blogger site, like having your own Substack, I guess, before.
Yeah, definitely like a blog thing because it had it had a fucking blog built into it.
Yeah.
And you could you could post pictures and music and polls and all kinds of fun stuff.
It was the best. That's what I want again. That's what I want to go back to. This is just really every time we get to talking about it, I'm just like, fuck. That was the one.
How different would the world be if we were just like sharing music via Napster and MySpace instead of all this BS?
Well, my computer wouldn't function as well. That's for sure.
That's only if you use LimeWire. That's only if you use LimeWire.
I don't know about you, but
you start using LimeWire and give your computer AIDS.
Yep.
Yeah, Top 10 Friends was a big deal. Like
if you're somebody's top 10 friends, like they legit like you.
Oh yeah, you make it into somebody in the opposite sex's top 10 friends, especially someone you got a crush on. Woo!
Or if you move somebody out of your
top 10, and
if you move somebody out of your top 10, and then they notice, they're like, "What's going on? Why am I not in the top 10 anymore?" It's like, calm down. Obviously, it was an oversight.
Can you still poke people on Facebook?
I don't.
I think they removed that. I
don't think so.
Yeah, me too.
It was funny
that.
Yeah, I feel like that would not fly today.
To say the poke wars were a thing for real. Like I think I had one that went back and forth for like 6 years or something.
That's gross.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever poked. Stan, why don't you poke Grandma?
Well, what was it? The joke was poking leads to poking.
Oh.
At least it doesn't lead to soaking.
I don't have an article about that. Hopefully everybody is aware of what soaking is.
I recently learned sort of the second factor to soaking. Like I'd heard about where you just put it in and it sits there, but I recently learned about how you need a friend to help with the motion, and then I learned about bagpiping.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
That sounds like a crazy steamer type.
I have not heard of bagpiping.
All right, so it's gonna be like similar, but it's sort of like and somebody who's into like outer course might be aware that armpit sex is a thing. But bagpiping is basically where you put the Johnson in the armpit, and then I think you still have to do the same. I think you still need the assistance from a friend to technically get the motion going. but it's basically using the armpit for. But I just love the term because I got to think, you know, they squeeze it with their arm. Oh man, brilliant.
No.
That's not how you operate a bagpipe. I thought that was.
No, I just don't. Why is this a thing? Oh.
Well, because there are still some very conservative college campuses like BYU where you're not allowed to have intercourse as students, so you have to find the workarounds. Apparently,
That's not a workaround.
anal is not actually God's loophole in terms, or as far as the and
the loophole. This is what gets me, right? Because I always thought, yeah, it's a way to like trick God, but I'm like, can God really have loopholes? Like, are you gonna like, gotcha, God? I'm not making the motion. My friend's making the motion. Like, I mean, you can't really get around it.
I really feel like God is gonna be standing there like, this is so much worse. So much worse. Just do it normal.
Just do it normal and pull out. I'll overlook it. All right, just stop this. Yeah. You know, it's one thing. It's like, you know, if you're doing like a drug deal, you throw it on the ground, and then you throw it on the ground, and we pick it up, and it's a loophole for the cops, right? Like that. But you just can't with God. Yeah.
Well,
it's funnier that I don't know who the people are commenting. Really,
I know. I have no idea.
You can probably guess.
I probably can. I think that's where the fun comes in.
I've never heard of Anthony Fuente. Like,
he's a real loser. Don't worry about it.
So it's only his third name on here.
Speaking of Instagram being Dag's new favorite thing, I can't remember if it was Dag or.
Okay.
What? Go ahead. You have a question.
Anthony Fuente asked, "What is cornholing?" I don't know. Okay, but I've always I always thought it had some sort of like sexual connotation, right? I thought that was like a bunghole or something. Cornhole is like the most popular game.
There's the
game all these, like church
cornhole
functions, and I'm like, do you guys realize like? You know, there's history there, right? Like, and like nobody gets it. So, can anybody explain it without me having to Google it? Because that would be excellent.
Like, explain the game or what? Like,
or the game.
Not the game in church. The other game.
The game of cornholing.
It's a bin where you keep your corn. I don't understand what the.
Let's consult Urban Dictionary on this one.
We called it a silo back in my day, but
we haven't brought up Urban Dictionary in a while. Let's see. Go away! I don't need a Valentine's Day ad. That passed.
They forgot that it lapsed on
them. So it's exactly what you expected it to be.
Before we had toilet paper, sorry, I'm ruining it.
Yeah,
cornholing.
All right, yeah, okay. That's what I assumed.
Butt fucking.
So how did that become like the name of the game? Like, was that just like somebody being just knowing like this get all these like Southern Bible belters to like play this game?
Well, they call it bags in Wisconsin. So maybe that's to get around to get the Bible belters to play it in the Midwest. Is the Midwest the Bible Belt? That's more South.
It's
I don't know.
South.
Both.
It gets wider in the middle. It's like
It's because the bags are actually full of corn and you throw them in the hole. Like that's the whole point. I mean, it is the most like baseline redneck explanation of the game, and the name.
You got a bag of corn.
You have a bag of corn and you throw it in a hole. That's corn.
You could come up with something else.
You guys are dirty. You're dirty minds.
No, the cornhole term was around first. You can't you can't pick it up after like that. You just can't.
You have to use. You can't use field corn. You have to use popcorn. Field corn doesn't. Field corn busts up, and then you end up with a corn floury mess everywhere. You have to use popcorn. I learned this the hard way.
But if you don't have a mill and you need to make cornbread and all you have is whole corn, you can just put in a weekend of bags and
All set.
Yeah, all good.
Oh man.
All right. Well, Instagram is Dag's favorite social media. I can't remember if it was Dag or Steven who sent me this one, since the two of them send me stuff on Instagram all the time, and I rarely check it. But I did check this one, and God, is it amazing.
Fleeing black neighborhoods because of systemic racism. A new study published in the National Academy of Sciences claimed that animals are fleeing black neighborhoods in favor of white neighborhoods because of systemic racism. This study is limited to the residences of the animals. So far, the animals have not experienced systemic racism in school admissions or in employment, mainly because they can't read. Some have responded to this study saying that systemic racism has not affected the chipmunks. Their argument is that the chipmunks are mainly moving to white neighborhoods because they prefer country music and especially Rascal Flatts.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Well, it's about what are they eating. So, you get a lot of
that's what I'm
in
thinking.
poorer neighborhoods, more ethnic mixes. So, they're eating the squirrels and the rabbits and the possums and the snakes and I don't know what other wildlife. Apparently not chipmunks.
Just not a lot
Ain't
of
no meat on a chipmunk.
Yeah.
About 15 of them to put in a crock pot. You might have breakfast. I was thinking it was like the food that they're putting out, the trash that they're putting out. Like you said, the more ethnic neighborhoods, it might just those animals that are fleeing have a palate that is more inclined to white people flavor.
They probably don't like chitlins or anything.
Yeah, that's it, right? Like, it's just too much.
Fried chicken just doesn't sit right with the squirrels.
No, you guys look at it all wrong. It's the waste. You ever seen a white person's chicken wing plate when they're done versus a black person's chicken wing plate when they're done? One of them's a lot cleaner.
It's very true.
Yeah, they know how to get in
It's
there.
a skill. Like, you watch somebody just like put it in their mouth and it comes out just a bone. Like, that is a freaking skill. Like, whoa, how'd you do that?
Then you're like, damn, what's her number?
Well, speaking of people of color, you might be able to get this chick's number since I believe she's now unemployed. Good God, all these ads, go away.
I saw this. Is that Rachel Dolezal or is that like somebody else?
Oh, this is somebody else. This Rachel Dolezal
Indian
pretended to be black. This chick is apparently pretending to be, I don't know, Indian or
or some sort of not Midwestern,
Middle Eastern. I
heard a little bit about this one.
Does she have an OnlyFans?
She will after this.
It might be better than Rachel Dolezal's.
I mean, that's not hard to top, though.
It's not.
Oh,
God. Just remember seeing those photos. Oh, that
fuck you, Clyde. Rachel Dolezal is not an anomaly. Another white woman who was exposed for lying about her race and culture while advocating for social justice causes has resigned from her role as a diversity executive. Raquel Saraswati, I don't know, is a 39-year-old Muslim activist and writer who led people to believe she was Latin, South Asian, and Arab descent. She resigned from her role as the Chief Equity, Inclusion, and Culture Officer at the American Friends Service Committee after her mother, Carol Perone, disclosed her true ethnicity. She got outed by her own mom. That's great.
Didn't she say something funny too? Like she's white as the driven snow or some shit. Like I think the way she phrased it was like, "Well,
mom's racist." That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
her mom's gonna be looking like that.
So she goes by she goes by Raquel Saraswati or whatever. Her mom says, "I call her Rachel. I don't know why she's doing what she's doing. I'm as white as the driven snow, and so is she."
There we go.
That's excellent. Her mom says, "I'm German and British, and her father was Calabrese Italian." She's chosen.
Okay, you're pushing it now. That's not quite as white as the driven snow now, but I don't know. Is that north or south Italy?
And I find that very sad.
Yeah.
You had me until Italian.
Well, and it's it's like we were talking about the other day. All these diversity, equity, and inclusion hires. The people who are actually running the departments are actually white women, and this just continues. And whatever trend.
Thing she was working for was some made up bullshit. Anyhow, I mean that was just some fucking scam. So he's like, yeah, no, girl, you're fucking it up for us here. You can't, you can't be doing this shit. Fucking up our hustle.
Well, it's a way for them to like spend money and like spend it out on payroll and deduct on their taxes and then still sure ain't gonna work here anymore. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love a good Office Space reference.
Yeah, it was good.
One of the best movies ever.
It was. Trey, you ever seen Office Space?
I think I've seen it once. I haven't.
No,
it's not one
that's criminal. You need to see it at least 10 times.
I think Mark was the same way. He hadn't seen that one.
Really?
Yeah.
It must be a ginger thing, huh?
I didn't realize how much of a ginger you actually were until you started posting pictures of like your youth, your childhood there. Like, damn.
Yeah.
It really has no soul. Like, I know he was just playing, but.
See, I was ginger, but now it's like it's like blonde now. I don't know.
You matured out of it.
Yeah, I grew out of the ginger.
I didn't realize how much of demographics we really had to fit in. Like Justin, when you put this thing together and you had to replace Mark, you're like, no, we need somebody in this age bracket of this hair color. Like I don't realize this was so formulated of a show.
I had it very well thought out.
You have to have a token ginger because see, Hollywood's erasing all the gingers. Ariel is now black, so it's like,
hey, there are black gingers. Now
there are.
I considered Magoo, but we've already got 2 balding guys. I couldn't go with a third. Like that is just pigeonholing us too much. I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really
speaking of pigeonholing.
Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of white women,
in their late 30s doing a podcast, get out of town.
Since the last chick was actually a white woman, did y'all see this article about the trad wife trend?
Yes.
Briefly.
Yes.
I love the dresses though. I really wish like that could catch on more. The trad wife
I would
dresses.
prefer that than like the high-waisted pants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right?
me,
we're gonna bring
too.
something back, like why and mullets, high-waisted pants and mullets.
I was like cottagecore, and I didn't find anything good. I didn't really know what the word was to look up for that. So good, maybe I'll get some tips here.
If Stephanie would dress like this,
just look up housewife, I guess.
If Stephanie would dress like this, I would let her be a stay-at-home wife. But she won't do it, so she has to go to work. You want to wear blue jeans? You go to work.
You're gonna dress like a man. You're gonna work like a man.
Go on.
Donning elaborate dresses, fastening an apron around their waist, and popping in their finest pearl earrings for another round of household chores or cooking. More and more young women are following in the footsteps of the quintessential mid-century housewife, thanks to the latest TikTok trend. But while some women are eager to shirk all the hustle and bustle of today's corporate world and channel Barbara Billingsley and as June Cleaver, others are none too happy with the trend. The new trend is for submissive women, has a dark heart and history. Apparently, we're romanticizing an era where sexism and racism ruled. Like, yes, can we return to that?
We're all like, everything's okay, right? It's okay. Like, you can pretend you're like female and like you're not harming anybody, but God forbid you pretend you're like June Cleaver. You're not harming anybody, right? Like, really, there's less harm in that. They're not forcing that on anybody. They're not forcing anybody to recognize their pronouns as like I don't know what your pronoun would be other than something. But I don't know.
Look at that wholesome family picture.
It is.
So,
it's very nice.
Me and my family unit
pose for that picture.
Me and my family unit are like about as untrad, not as untrad. Hold on, let me pull that back. We're pretty untrad. All right, we're not, right? But like she has been doing like she baked fucking pumpkin bread in the last like 24 hours. Pumpkin bread, cornbread, and made homemade ice
What about your bread?
cream that I know. So it's like like there's it doesn't have to be like a submissive or a sexist thing even like for this. There are some things that women enjoy more than men typically, like baking, So, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's certainly something to that, I think, is you look like just the way we've developed and like, what stimulates you, I think that's biologically built in, and that's okay.
Like cooking meat over fire.
Have y'all seen
baking sweet treats?
Have y'all seen the movie Don't Worry, Darling?
No.
No.
Well, that ruined it. I can't go any further. Well, I'm just going to assume that none of you are going to watch it for another 3 years, and by then you'll have forgotten all the spoilers. So it's set in this like alternate reality type of thing. Basically, they all are entering into like a meta. They're entering the Matrix, and all the wives are like it's like a 1950s like community, and all the wives are the trad wives, and all the husbands have the nice like 1950s cars, and they wear suits and ties, and all the husbands get up and go to work every morning, and the wives all do housework and take care of the kids and all of that stuff, and it's and like then you find out that they're actually trapped in the Matrix, and most of the wives are unaware that they're trapped in a Matrix. They don't remember how they got there or anything because their husbands knocked them out and kidnapped them and put them there. And and so like when the husbands leave every day, they actually like leave the Matrix and go.
They just go to the bar and drink.
And go. Oh, no, they go work real jobs because they have to pay to be in this place. But
it's sort of is that like Ready Player One style stuff? No, they don't have to pay. I don't think.
Sort of.
Yeah, I think.
Sounds like the Handmaid's Tale, right?
It's like it sounds like Ready Player One mixed with. Like,
I've never seen that movie either, or that show, whatever it is.
I highly recommend it. It was good.
The 50s isn't trad. Like 1700s is trad.
Yeah. Well,
the man shouldn't be going to work. We should be working on the homestead together.
And that's what Dag and Clyde are both trying to get back to.
Yeah, we're super trad.
Yeah. The traddiest.
Yeah.
Tradiest.
Well, Justin does all the same stuff we do. He just doesn't make a lifestyle out of it like us. He's like, yeah, whatever. You guys aren't special.
Yeah, I still do all of it. I just also go to a normal job and
just doesn't brag about it.
I don't know if I'd call what you do a normal job. You like give people alcoholism. Like you just that
pusher.
I don't give them alcoholism. I just put it on the truck.
He enables.
Are we really that different, Justin, you and I?
He's just putting it on the shelf so that somebody can see it, and then they want to buy it.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody asks me like, are we gonna actually ship this? Like it's gonna be short a whole bunch of product. I'm like, we're just contributing to the alcoholism of people all around the country. Like, yeah, ship it. It doesn't matter. It's going to a store that already has full shelves. Like, if they don't get this stuff, they're just gonna put something else in its spot. Like, it's fine. Ship it.
They don't have my favorite brand of cheap gin. I guess I'm not going to get drunk today.
Well, and it's all effectively the same thing. Like if you're buying flavored,
go into Walmart.
If you're buying flavored vodka, like they're all basically the same. It's just different bottles. So just pick the other one.
It's like if I can't get it at the ABC store, I'll go to the Walmart.
You got the ABC store, fucking Alabama, and all your government restrictions and stuff. It is one of the worst. Alabama is one of the worst states to ship to because of the bullshit that we have to do. Yeah, the alcohol laws and the bullshit we have to do for the shipment. Alabama, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, and Oregon. They can all fall off in the ocean.
Pennsylvania was there. I remember in college we went to a track meet or something in Pennsylvania, trying to buy like beer afterwards. It was like insane. Like places are closed, it's locked up. You had to go here. You had to go. It was like, what? Why can't I just go to the grocery store and get some beer?
Experience that in Texas. Alcohol laws are just like the funniest like thing, just because they're so different, like county to county, state to state, you know, and then depending on what state it's coming from or going to, they are just so fucking ridiculous.
Like the funniest thing is like we had two of our counties. Now my county's a wet county, but like there were still dry counties.
You help make it wet.
Yeah, I help make it wet. Yeah, so that's how I ended up.
Speaking of wet, do you have that the video of the squirting mussels?
Oh god,
of the what? Oh no, I didn't pull that up. I wasn't sure if that was show appropriate. I was going to say
speaking of meme I shared.
I was going to say speaking of pushers, I do have some people pushing stuff.
Man, I just want to say, like, I love that article, like, and I love like no one appreciated it, like squirting mussels, squirting their offspring, like it just nobody. I don't know.
We'll save that for the night
before. I feel like in general, not just you guys, but like the whole world in general, just didn't appreciate it. I don't know if they wrote it with that intention or not, but it's certainly.
It feels like a good one for a night show. We'll bring that one back on Saturday. This Saturday, for the three people who are watching on Facebook, we'll be back on YouTube on Friday, I believe, and so then we'll do our night before this upcoming Saturday. We were supposed to do it last Saturday. Not that anybody knew that, including 3 of the 4 people on the show. But since we were off of YouTube, it was decided that we wouldn't.
It was daylight saving, so whoever decided to put it on that try to do it that night was an idiot anyway. So
you just gonna insult Justin like that?
we had a conversation about this and agreed to it like 3 weeks ago, but.
I'm like never a part of these conversations. I swear. Like no one consults me. I just get the memo like, hey, you got to be there. I'm like, wait, what? No, I don't.
Well, this Saturday you do have to be there.
I already know the answer.
Inside Gen Z's
He's too busy getting beat up by his wife.
Epidemic. Everything's an epidemic. Bigger health risks than cocaine. What's hippie crack, Trey? Tell us about it, because none of us are Gen Zers, so you're going to be the most in tune with this.
And I'm the drug guy.
I have no clue.
Is it like?
I mean,
is that nitrous?
Yes.
They're trying to like.
They're trying to huff gas.
Yeah.
That's been around for ages. That's not Gen Z.
It's no laughing matter. A neurologist has declared nitrous oxide is more dangerous than cocaine amid a dramatic uptick in young people experimenting with the drug. Nitrous oxide, commonly referred to as laughing gas, whippets, and hippie crack, is legally sold in single-use silver cracker canisters dispensed into balloons and inhaled to create a temporary feeling of relaxation and euphoria. While the substance has long been used recreationally, huffing experimentation rates amongst 16 to 24-year-olds have soared post-pandemic. I've been a neurologist for 21 years and have seen a definite change in how it's being used since the pandemic.
Retarded.
At least they're huffing nitrous. We huff Freon. Fuck.
There was a trend, I think, like a while back where people were like huffing helium.
But that doesn't do anything.
The helium doesn't do anything.
Gives you
it just
the
makes
squeaky
your voice
voice.
squeaky.
Yeah, I used to do that too. Fun. My work.
Too much helium will make you dizzy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's not
but it's
good
not
for
like,
you.
It's not like nitrous.
Like this. Well, what it says, they're like 150 canisters. Like that's a lot. You know, that's a lot all around.
A couple fish shows, and like somebody had managed to get their hands on like a medical size tank, like a big like 4-footer, and there'd just be like a line through all the cars and the tents of people, and like all of a sudden everybody just break up and be like, oh, he stopped, he moved, we got to find him, like it's like this weird
game.
Like, you couldn't stand there for too long. They'd be all caked in ice. And
So is it like, because it seems I've had it before, like at the dentist when I was young, with like a children's dentist. But you're on like a constant flow of it. Like how it just seems so short lived. Like that's why it never appealed to me. You know.
It is. It's like a 30-second thing.
It's a one-hitter.
Yeah.
It says, while direct deaths from the inhalation of nitrous oxide are rare, Dr. Nichols said serious long-term health problems can be caused by the drug, including nerve damage, memory loss, and paralysis. Coming out of COVID, that's probably what they're aiming for. Definitely the memory loss part of it.
Yeah.
Gotta forget.
It's like poppers. Probably not as bad for you as poppers.
What is this?
I mean, it's probably just easier to get
like
on,
the spray
like
cans of like cleaner, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pressurized.
Oh, the duster. And anything that's aerosol, kids, if you're listening, anything that's aerosol, pretty much, it's because it's like the propellant. You know,
I was gonna say, so it's just
so basically what it's doing is it's just replacing oxygen in your bloodstream. Yeah. So you're kind of, and with nitrous, I think it's an actual drug, but with huffing other stuff, it's basically replacing the oxygen in your blood with something like inert. So you're kind of like blacking out, like for a second. It's kind of like what the effect is. So like I've seen people do it with like cans of butane or like a can of Pledge or something, but you put like a towel over it, so you're not inhaling the Pledge. Awful. It's the propellant. Yeah, I didn't do that shit. I'm Freon, but not that. I'm not stupid. Come on. But yeah. So I think that's generally I think that's what's happening with a typical huffing scenario. Now, if you're getting into like, I don't know, paint or glue or gas or gasoline or something, like that might be a different thing. But I think it's still the same principle that it's replacing the oxygen in your blood with something else. You're kind of blacking out.
Dag's a classy drug user. He's never huffed cleaning supplies.
I mean, I might have gotten chased out of somebody's backyard for stealing Freon out of their air conditioner at 3 a.m, but never cleaning supplies. You know, yeah. Well, if nothing else, you really want the taste of Pledge in your mouth? Come on.
Yeah, I would think that's just like.
Or do you want the smell of glue?
If it's that orange Pledge, smells really nice. I bet it tastes pretty good too.
Yeah, you remember all the smelly markers when you were a kid?
Oh yeah,
like they never tasted good. Just because they smelled. They never
tasted like they smelled. It doesn't taste like
I remember
grape
kids
at all.
huffing those, and then in my elementary school, kids would huff Smarties. Like they would literally like do a line of Smarties.
That's why the Marines had to swap to the unflavored crayons.
Yeah. Kept clogging up the latrines.
Our defense budget was just going down the drain on crayons every year. Need more money? Why? Crayons, man. Crayons. Getting expensive.
Red crayons because the red ones taste best.
Hey, y'all thought elementary school teachers had it bad.
Skittles. What's the Skittles thing? Taste the rainbow.
I'm surprised you made that reference, Doug.
Short Bus Shorty. You remember Short Bus Shorty? Guys. You guys know Short Bus Shorty? Short Bus Shorty. Oh
yeah. The Waka.
Well, it seems like that was
dog. Oh,
it seemed like that trend from at least from the article was primarily in England, that's where the doctor was, that they're huffing nitrous. If you do too much of it, they'll end up making it illegal, and then you'll end up in jail. But there's probably an upside for the boys if they end up in jail. Crisis at UK's biggest jail. 18 female guards are fired for affairs with inmates.
You should see the jail too. It's literally like a college campus.
Is it like a white collar jail?
It's like one of the it's like the white collar jail for sure.
Well, at least with female prisoners can't consent, so it's like considered rape if a female prisoner has sex with a guard. Is it not considered the same thing the other direction? They're affairs.
Probably not.
Those poor male inmates are getting raped by these. About as pretty as Britain put out.
That legitimately looks like some high schools around here. So
yeah, it really does. I mean, it's not that difficult, right? you keep the men in the men's prison, you keep the women in the women's prison, and you just that's it.
And then you
And
hope
then this doesn't happen.
Well,
And if it does happen, you just ignore it. You know, it's like, whatever.
Don't
Freedom
ask
of
me, don't tell.
Information inquiry revealed that 6 employees were sacked and 12 have quit at the
Sacked.
Category
Now,
C
what do they mean by
facility.
sacked?
until you have the trans
Do
the
they mean
trans
sacked
cards.
like as in terminated? Or is there another definition here that they're?
That's
like,
teabagged, not sacked. You don't call that.
Well,
Well, maybe
it's Britain. I don't know. You know.
all had or were suspected of having affairs with lags. I'm assuming that's British for prisoners. Since it was built in February of 2017.
So how many like
3 of them even went to jail.
inmate, or was it just like
they were
what's the
caught
number of
sending
inmates?
explicit photographs, having sex in the cells, and exchanging intimate phone calls.
I mean, that's probably just like a kink, right? I mean, like in a jail cell.
Please, please put it in.
which one of us does the best British accent?
Oh my gosh. Here's the best line of this whole thing. Our frontline staff are nothing short of heroes, undergoing an extremely tough and demanding job day in, day out to get criminals back on the straight and narrow and keep our streets safe. I mean,
Well, they're on the straight, all right.
they're definitely making sure they stay straight.
Was it a gay prison then?
Keeping them in the straight and narrow, am I right?
I don't know how narrow it is after you've been playing a bunch of
I'm not after all this. I wonder what the demographics are like in prisons over there versus over here. You know what I mean?
I bet you that cop's trying to get a job over there now. She get an idea. She's gonna go work in the prison system.
That Megan, or whatever, Megan Hall. Yeah, she's like, oh, well, I'll go to the UK, and then
Hey, they
I
got
got put in for a transfer, mate.
We already talked about Southern accents and British accents having
She's
similarities.
gonna get the
She'll fit
metro
right in.
run on her instead of the train, though.
I wonder if they really call it that.
Get it. She's gonna get that double-decker bus.
She had a bloody metro run on her.
Shit, yeah.
So they say.
Oh boy.
Do we want to stick with the theme of bagging on women today, since that seems to be where we ended up going?
It's Wednesday.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
The significance is, but
Why not bag
no
on
women
Wednesday?
it's been feeling like a Friday show.
In WW, no women Wednesday.
This one is Trey sent this one. That's pretty hilarious. This poor bimbo.
Maybe that's what I'll do for
What really hurts my
Saturday night.
feelings, can I be honest? Sometimes when I go to the bathroom and I come back and I put Plinky out, my viewership goes up 30 to 50 viewers when there is a plink of wood here. And then the second that I unmute the mic and I sit back down in the chair, it drops like 70. This is a thing that I have noticed. Why do you guys legitimately prefer a plank of wood?
Somebody said somebody made a
Or
joke for like
you
Planky
prefer me.
OnlyFans when
I like the idea of Planky.
yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Ed, Edd and Eddie.
We should all get our own Planky, and then like if
off it. Yeah, it's like okay, I gotta get up. Planky.
That's what I'm doing for Saturday.
Yeah. Clyde will never miss a Saturday again now.
Just have a Planky sitting there.
Oh man, you got to put like real hair on it with like plank pattern baldness.
He's gonna have the.
Just put the fedora on it. It'll be fine.
Oh my god, yes. It's kind of like Morning Wood too. Morning Wood's basically a Planky.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of like stream or like viewers? 50?
I mean,
More than we get.
Yeah, I mean,
but we're not like.
I'd have to say yes. I feel like I'd be an asshole to say anything more than 6 is a lot. Or if I didn't say it that way. Oh fuck!
I mean, like if you're if you're on like Twitch streaming, then yeah, if it, like 40 or 50, and she said like even like 70, like that's
No, she said it
hard
went
to
down
get.
70. Her math is off. Okay, it only goes up 50 and then it goes down 70.
Well,
so
look
like
at it. She's not doing math. I'm sure she gets told she's smart a lot, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, honey, when I was young, boys
were,
used to tell me I was smart all the time.
There were people who were watching, and then when she leaves and puts the plank out, more people come to watch the plank sit there. And then when she comes back, all of those people who came, plus the other people who were already watching, also leave. Like, the show is over. We're done. Like, nobody's staying for the credits.
There's only so many planks streaming. There's a lot of bimbos. So
yes.
So Ed, Ed, and Eddie. It was called Plank. It was just plank, right? That's what they called the piece of wood. Do you guys? I'm not gonna bring the show down too much. You guys know what happened to like the creator or the writer of Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
No.
Here, I'll look it up.
He got a giant splinter in his throat.
No. Well, maybe. Look at a metal splinter.
While we're talking about childhood shows, as Dag looks that up, do you know what happened to Steve of Blue's Clues? Apparently, he did not commit suicide, although when he came back and showed up as some sort of a goth weirdo, I kind of wish he had.
Yeah, I think they redeemed him recently. Like they did a reboot, but like then of course like the newer Blue's Clues guys like weird, and they basically I think they had a even had a drag thing on it or something like that. So it's like I'm not letting them watch that, you know. It's like, whatever.
Blue was kind of androgynous. Was it a female dog? Was it a male dog? You don't really know.
They always said
dog,
she. They always said she.
Really.
So Blue was supposed to be she.
She had a very masculine growl or rough, you know. So it was hard to tell.
And then I think like I don't know if the magenta was actually like supposed to be the boy dog or if it was just another girl. I never knew.
What?
Clyde's so confused.
Clyde didn't have to watch it growing up.
No, I didn't.
What do we got here?
He was the creator Ed, Ed and Eddie was shot while on his hands and knees by Canadian police and killed.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And no,
why?
You know, like it says here, the officer was cleared. But yeah, he was on his hands and his knees, and I guess he had some sort of mental illness. I'm not sure all of the backstory or whatever or what happened. You know, I don't think he hurt anybody or anything. I'm not sure. But at any rate, yeah, shot in the head.
I think he had he had some mental issues, and then I don't know if I think he did he got into like excessive drug use too. I mean, a lot of those that have popular shows and stuff like that, they get into excessive drug use, and then like depression, and then they go through like mental episodes or whatever. So
if they'd just left him alone, he'd be eligible for MAID now, and he. Actually, so I did do a daily on my own show about that. The MAID thing actually got postponed. So it was supposed to go into effect for people with mental illness, like yesterday, I think was when it was originally supposed to go into effect, and it got pushed out a year. They want to take some time to actually like figure out if it's the right thing and see what the effects of all stuff. And
who
the same
would make that decision? Like, does the mentally ill person get to decide that they want to do that, or is it their like caretaker?
See, that's the thing is like if
there's
mentally ill, do you have the mental faculty to make that decision? I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, it's gotten postponed, and they're going to spend another year like deliberating on it and looking at it and talking about it before they actually move forward with it. So there's a chance that they end up not doing that. But yeah, it's kind of that's sort of good news, I guess, for the mentally ill.
Cheer up, guys! There's a silver lining here.
Sort of good news for mentally ill.
Speaking of the mentally ill, and
Your executor might not kill you.
So if I was like hiring and I saw pronouns, here's what I'm going to assume. I'm going to assume you're obviously very liberal. So I'm going to assume you're one of those people that is super far left. Hey, I'm going to assume you're not a very hard worker. You are either a female or you're a probably not straight guy. So everything in the office you have your feelings, your needs, and your emotions. So everyone around you is not going to be able to be themselves and walk on eggshells. Why would anyone want someone like you unless everyone's like you in a work environment? You're going to be the laziest person. You're going to be the most entitled, complain the most, and I think you're going to be the first to sue. So shocker that pronouns weren't helping you guys. Sorry, is there anything I missed there?
Is she driving? Somebody else driving?
Obviously, this is why women can't drive, because they're always trying to do TikTok videos.
It seems
while
like she's
doing...
like, if you look at the car, right?
It looks like
she might be in the passenger seat.
Yeah,
or in the back seat. Yeah. She's probably taking an Uber.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
I would be so. I don't know that I would be able to do that in the back of an Uber with someone else there.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
pretending to be like alone, kind of, right? You know, like.
Well, or you have like a. Well, I mean, you could do it. My thing would be like, is this person gonna be like a super liberal? And you're like, yeah, I bet they're super liberal. This like all of a sudden, like they just turn around and they're like,
get out. Yeah, like pride
kicking
flags
you
on
out.
the back, you know.
Yeah. It's like, get out of my Uber. I'm rating you 0 stars out of 5.
I've only had
worst passenger.
I've only taken an Uber twice, and it was when we were in Chicago back in October, and neither one of them spoke English. So it was like they pulled up, we got in, they took us to where we were going, and we got out. That was the extent of it. I tried to have like chit chat with the first guy, and he's like, no. I was like, oh, okay.
He actually did speak English. He just didn't want to talk to your ass.
See, I actually had a great conversation with both of the people that I took it. Like, well, I didn't use Uber. I had to use Lyft because Uber just wouldn't freaking work in New York for some reason. For me anyway, it was just not working.
They're like, you look more like a Lyft customer to us. Why don't you go ahead?
So like both of them, like one of them, like the guy, like there was a black guy and a black chick, like, and both of them, like the black guy at first, like he just wouldn't say anything, and then I was just like, I just try to start talking, about different stuff or whatever, and I forget, we were talking about, like, he has kids, and talking about my kids and everything, and he was like, yeah, man, and then I forget what I talked about with the black chick, but like we went on.
Anthony. I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
Look, there's a reason they call it the Alphabet Mafia, right?
Did you see, since that is kind of the theme of today's show, even though we never talked about it at all after the opening clip, did you see where Silicon Valley Bank had like a whole bunch of like diversity hires on their board, and also had donated somewhere in the neighborhood of like $37 million to Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
Oh no, you got to pull up the signature. Like, I guess the last thing, there's a signature bank thing where his like the one of the CEOs or some C-level guys were talking about pronouns, like right before the bank collapsed. It's like it's
a lot of, and they was
bank,
a lot of
bank's pronouns as was and were. Sorry, go ahead, Clyde. I had to get that in there.
Now they knew this was happening. I mean, like they were moving shares. There was a sell off like from execs like before this happened. They knew what was coming.
I feel like they always know, or somebody does,
Well, like to me, like, what do you think? Like, we're going through like the worst economic times, and then like you decide to like buy 10-year treasuries, like 100 billion worth, like 10 years. Like, you really think we're gonna last that long? I posted it in the private chat if you wanna put it there.
Well, then what was it? There it is.
Signature Bank.
I got it.
Your bank, and it is a pleasure for me to welcome you to this multimedia, multicasted, multi-spatial
Dude on the left.
Pride Council. And
He's got pronouns.
Is it a dude?
there are about 40 people in the room.
We'll have to ask him.
And you're seeing there are something like
Or he's just
190
doped up on
people at
something.
watch parties.
Like he's
So hi to you all at the watch parties.
The most
Adam's
common
gourd
pronouns
right
that
now.
folks are familiar with are she and he.
Yeah, no, you guys are right.
Becoming much more common, and I don't know if there's anyone in the signature bank world, but probably you have clients that use they them as pronouns. They're gender neutral pronouns on purpose. We talked about folks that are non-binary that intentionally don't identify as male or female. So some of those folks use they them as their
So
pronouns.
is he implying
is
people
another
like
gender neutral pronoun, and the other part of that would
don't
be
use them on
spelled
purpose, like it's just by
HIR.
accident?
And then there's some folks that say, don't use any pronouns for me, just use my name. So I use
Yeah.
he, him as my pronouns. but
I'm
I go
cool.
through all
Just
of
call me
these
by my
to talk
fucking name,
about what they
asshole.
would sound
What's he got,
like
rainbow
if I used-
suspenders there?
Yeah.
He's sitting on the table.
Well, it may be like rainbow bags that they're gonna hand out. Or something.
I don't go by pronouns. I just wear these rainbow suspenders so everybody knows. You know.
Rainbow ball gags.
Yeah.
Like as if you didn't already know, like by the way he dresses.
Oh yeah, he had such like a southern dandy little mustache and like goatee thing. You know what I mean? These are my walking petunias.
If he wasn't talking about pronouns, that would be referred to as a different type of stash.
Yeah.
Not the porn stash. The he who shall not be named stash.
He who shall not be named.
I got you.
Sounds so
Somebody
dramatic.
at work suggested that I needed to do that. Like I needed to, because I was thinking about shaving my beard, and they're like, "Oh, you need to just do the Hitler stash." I was like, "No, I'm in management. I can't do that. What are you, fucking retarded?"
All of a sudden,
because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.